Court may be adjourned, but the conversation continues because we all know paternity matters. On today's episode of Paternity Matters. Your dad was one of how many possible fathers?
4.
4 possible fathers.
Her mom found the gun in the summer, confiscated the gun, so her mom knew about all of this.
When you remove the H from husband and you just have the U.S., us, band, it's like the husband. He bands around the family. That's what holds the family together.
I see one of the cast members from Housewives. I'm telling my trainer, I said, I think she's checking her brother out.
Rishar, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, we're here at Paternity Matters because we know paternity does matter.
Yes, ma'am.
And we know that paternity affects people in different ways depending on their life experience. And you have a very interesting story. So you've grown up your childhood, teenage years, and adult life. You've lived with a question of paternity. It has always been clear that your dad was one of how many possible fathers?
4.
4 possible fathers.
When I told Leroy I was pregnant, I was about 3 months pregnant. And he was, he didn't say anything. It wasn't like he was glad that I was pregnant or whatsoever. I'd say, well, I'm carrying your baby. And he just looked.
Last time I seen her before I seen her when she was pregnant with him, her other baby daddy was going up the steps, and I was going down the steps. So I didn't even know that was one of her baby daddies. So, it could have been his baby. I don't know. Because the girl she was getting high. She was on crack, and she was doing her thing with everybody. Simple. And that's the honest God truth.
At that time, I had stopped getting high and all that good stuff, because I really loved getting high. That was that thing, by me, being out there and wandering around. And I know who I had intimate with and everything. Either way it go, I'm going to be satisfied. Because in my mind, it says him, but, other ways it's saying something else.
I've always wanted his attention, but the relationship was never a relationship. It's so bad, I don't even really know his full name.
Really?
That's how bad it is.
You don't know his full name. Wow.
It's like a lot of names that he has, like a lot of aliases that he has, but Leroy is the only one that I knew.
That's what you know.
That's what I know.
Did you ever say, Mom, if there were multiple possibilities, and look, I always say on paternity court, and I say even on We the People, look, leave shame out the window. We here now. Let's talk about what really is the deal.
I say, Leroy, Richard yours, he looked just like you, like that. So at the time, he didn't, we didn't take no blood tests or nothing like that, So it just went on, and I just raised my son up, He was still coming over and giving me crack instead of money. All this stuff, and as Richard grew up, I started back using drugs, so they came in and they took my children.
Mama's baby, Papa's maybe? We'll find out on Paternity Matters.
Welcome to Paternity Matters Street Talk. I am your host, Shanika Taylor, and we're about to hit these streets to see if the people know their TV dads. All right, hey, what's your name?
Josh.
Josh, and where are you from?
Kansas City, Missouri.
All right, you have 20 seconds to name 5 TV dads. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, The Simpsons.
Homer.
Roseanne.
Dan.
Full House.
Danny.
Family Matters. Freshman's.
Phil.
That was Freshman's of Bel-Air, but that's okay. Modern Family.
Oh, which dad?
Name anyone.
Oh, man.
You got this.
Phil.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. I feel like you've been the best competitor out here. All right, so can you fill in a blank? Paternity matters to me because?
Fatherhood's important.
Why is it important?
Kids need role models.
Are you that role model?
Yeah.
Look, he's confident. Is he the role model? They say yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed Paternity Matters Street Talk. Enjoy the rest of the show with Judge Lauren Lake.
Next, we head back to the men's den to continue our conversation with the guys. Idris seeks counsel under the covers while Will is caught up in co-parenting chaos.
For me, the biggest challenge was probably the transition from being married and going through my whole divorce. Then we had another young lady who was ended up in a mix or whatever. So
how did the lady end up in the mix? She just slipped on a banana peel and just landed up in the mix right up in your marriage? What happened?
All right, so this is interesting. So I remember one day I was driving, getting ready to park my car. Somebody almost hits me, and I'm getting ready to cuss them out. And then out comes, I see one of the cast members from Housewives. I noticed her and her sister walking into the gym. I said, okay, she get a free pass. So I'm in there. I'm in there working out. Every time I look over there, they looking at me. I'm telling my trainer, I said, I think she's checking her brother out. So me, I said, you got to seize the opportunity. So I go over, introduce myself.
This is while you was married?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Tell it like it is now.
I'm telling you. So check this out. So check it out. So my ex-wife, one of the things she did on the side was she does makeup. So I was like, well, shit, I could put her on game. So I said, they're on Housewives. She does makeup and everything.
I could
network. I'm the connector and everything. So
Will and Derek are laughing at you.
So she was going through a divorce with her husband. And then at the same time, I just let her know straight up, I'm married, things aren't great and everything. And, I just put it out there. I remember one particular night, we went out for dinner. Mm-hmm. So my wife's calling me. She's like, where you at? It's getting kind of late and everything.
Because you had never introduced them to do the makeup.
Not yet.
I didn't forget about that. I'm still waiting on that part.
I was waiting on that part.
I was waiting for your wife to get the makeup job.
We're at dinner having a good time. And then my wife called me up and said, it's getting kind of late. Where you at? I said, I'm at my office handling some business and everything. She said, okay. So about 10 minutes later, I checked my phone, I get a text message. It's a selfie outside of my office, and from my wife. Oh man!
She was up at the office.
Yeah, we had already been going through some stuff. I said, I'm done with this. Take my ring off, put it down, and then I leave the house.
Oh my God! It came to that.
Oh yeah, it was That was definitely. We get a hotel room, having a good time or whatever. And then it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, sleep or whatever. The hotel room door open. Oh, you got the wrong room. She's like, no, I got the right room. It was my wife, and she came in she came in the room with my daughters and everything. And then we have no clothes on, and she said to my daughter, "You see your punk ass daddy right there?"
Wait, this is terrible.
Coming out of this process, I spent $35,000 for lawyer fees, right? And when I get to the final hearing, this judge didn't even want to hear anything I had to say. In December, I found some inappropriate TikToks that my daughter had on her phone. One TikTok video was her with a gun. And I later found out that it was a BB gun, but it looked like a real gun. So, of course, I'm concerned about it. Well, me and her mother is going through this issue as well. We don't get along at all. So she said she didn't know nothing about guns, nothing like that. So I asked Callie, what's going on? She said her mom found the gun. She ordered the gun through Amazon. Her mom found the gun in the summer, confiscated the gun. So her mom knew about all of this. So I played a video for the judge in the courts. The judge turns around after the video is over and looks at me and said, Mr. Crosby, you were in the military over 10 years. You mean to tell me you couldn't tell that was a BB gun? I said, excuse me? I said, Your Honor, respectfully, her school wouldn't care that that's a BB gun.
Exactly.
Law enforcement wouldn't care that that's a BB gun.
If she had it in her hand when they pulled up,
absolutely. He says to me, do you really think she would pull this gun out on law enforcement? In my mind, I'm thinking, what the hell? What are we talking about right now? It was ridiculous to me.
And so the court system has left you feeling disheartened. What I will say to you is what you described as well is something that we dealt with often on paternity court and We the People, both of my court shows, is that co-parenting chaos. How do I manage to have strong, healthy relationships with each parent when my parents are in a full court battle?
Next up, a story of forgiveness.
My younger siblings had had an accident, and I was asked to go to the hospital to visit him. Mm-hmm. And I had gone once, but going there and seeing him as a teenager, it was very traumatic for me. When I got home, my mother asked me if I went to the hospital, and I said, no, I didn't. I told the truth. And she said, well, wait till your father gets home. So when he came home, he had alcohol on his breath. My mother told him, what happened. And when he asked me, I told him the truth. Judge Lauren Lake, my father took a water hose from a car. He split it with a razor, and he beat me to the point where he drew blood. So from that moment, I wrestled with the fact that I knew I did something wrong, but to me, the punishment that was meted out to me, you don't do that to an animal.
And you held that resentment for how long? How did that affect you?
I ended up picking up a drug habit and an alcohol habit. I started drinking and drugging over a lot of these issues, a lot of things going on. I checked myself into a rehab, and everything changed in terms of how I wanted to do things with my dad. So I went to him and I said, Daddy, I said, I want you to come and sit down and talk with me. I want to tell you some things about my life. Yeah. I want you to tell me about your life.
About your life.
And he said, Kevin, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. He died.
Oh.
He died before we could do it.
Oh.
So I was angry with God. I said, you let me go through all of that stuff. And now when you clean me up, I got a chance to do this, and you take them away from me. But little did I know, God had a plan later on.
Are you a parent?
Yes, I am. My oldest child, 22 years old, suddenly died. And I had to go to work every day and look at children, young girls her age, and wonder why. But nevertheless, God kept me there, and I kept doing what I had to do.
Yeah.
I also learned some things in my parenting and in my fathering that helped me also be able to forgive my dad, because I didn't do it to perfection. When Father's Day comes, this is the first thing I do when I wake up. I said, Daddy, I'm so glad you gave me a desire to work. He taught us work. And I said, because today when you look around at some of these men, Judge Lauren, if we were being paid, some men, if they were paid to sleep, they would wake up and quit.
Ooh.
They have no, and that comes with fatherhood.
You said it, not me.
They don't see a man going out of the house every day to a job. Yes. How important that is. When you remove the H from husband and you just have the US, us, band, it's like the husband. He bands around the family. That's what holds the family together.
You in your work have tried to shift that cultural environment with your Heart of the Father event. Before we close, I want to learn more about that.
Fathers' hearts are now being turned back to their children.
Okay.
We help homeless men come back, or bring them back into society, connect them with their families, help them with substance abuses. At night, I work with the youth. So I'm bridging the gap on both ends.
So, Mr. Strong, I don't know what to say. You are just exemplary. You're extraordinary. I'm so proud of what you're doing with the Heart of the Father event. And I'm so happy that you're taking your healing and you're bringing it into the community. You are a living, true example of that. I thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Judge Lauren. It was my honor.
Oh, it was mine. It was mine. Thank you so much.
On the next episode of Paternity Matters.
Fulton County Sheriff, open up the door. 3 big dudes look like they need to be playing for the Atlanta Falcons with guns pointing at me.
I served this country. You know what I mean? Like I put my life on the line. I've lost soldiers only to come back here and have to fight for my children.
Regardless of what the tests come out to be, I'm gonna kind of be sad, but at the same time glad that it's about over.
Okay, Brenda from Charlotte texted me. She said, Dear Judge Lake, I did the unthinkable. I slept with my best friend's boyfriend. Okay, Brenda, it was a drunken night. Should have never happened. And now I'm pregnant. I'm not in a relationship. I value my best friend more than anything. Whew, do you? And I really don't know what to do. All right, Brenda, hey. It ain't nothing you could do but come clean with this. If you value your best friend, you don't want to lose your friend. Listen, the boyfriend had a part to play in it as well. And ultimately, if he is your child's father, he deserves to know. So the quicker you get to the truth, I always say, don't take the long way to the truth.
Just get there. Tell the truth.
Hey family, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications.
Do you need help resolving a question of paternity? Maybe I can help. Text me at 818-850-6568. That's 818-850-6568. We'll see you next time on Paternity Matters, because it's personal.